Hey, we're back
Hello.
for we wanted to come back real quick and talk about a couple more things.
Two more.
Yeah, two more things.
That's what a couple means, right? Two?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What about a pair? A pair of things. Can we
That's an orgy.
True.
No. But let's go to the first one. You want to talk about the first one? Let's talk about the first one.
Yeah, let's talk about the first one.
I mean, we still have the beer from last week.
Yeah, it's still good after 1 week, 2 weeks.
Still
probably
bubbly.
2 weeks.
Still bubbly.
Yeah, still carbonated.
Shut up. It's wonderful. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
James Gunn is back.
Who?
James Gunn.
James Gunn is
And
back.
who is happy about it? Are you happy about it?
Batista is happy about it. Yeah,
That's
I'm
true.
super
and
excited.
who else is happy about it?
Christopher Pratt.
Christopher Pratt is happy about it. And you know what? I didn't know that they signed the thing. I mean, I knew like some of them made a stance, but I didn't know like almost all the cast actually signed like a we want him to be hired back or else kind of thing.
Yeah, so just to give a quick rundown, actually from a few, episodes 4 or 5 or something like that of the podcast where we talked about how James Gunn actually was released from the film due to previous tweets that were
explicit to say the least.
They were definitely explicit and very inappropriate. So he was released, and then there was a little bit of backlash from the actual cast of Guardians of the Galaxy to where Dave Bautista actually spoke out and said, hey, I'm not coming back unless James Gunn's the director.
Yeah. So
it's actually what we talked about, I think, during that time was just the stance that they took and just how everything kind of comes
Disney going to let him back?
Exactly. So it's great for Disney to actually kind of retract that and be like, you know what?
Spoilers.
How it's going to retract and be like, you know what? We're going to give you a second chance, which is cool.
Yep.
Because everyone deserves a second chance.
I mean, that's what like Chris Pratt even said. Like, hey, the whole meaning of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a second chance. You know, he talks about how the squad Guardians of the Galaxy is just a ragtag team put together of all second chances. And so it's essentially it speaks true almost in real life too, to allow James Gunn to have that kind of opportunity to say, hey, I've grown up. Those were stupid. I apologize for that. You know, let's move on, and I will be a better person from now on, type of thing.
And I think it's really kind of taking, not necessarily context, because it was never appropriate for them to say it.
Right.
I think we're just more aware of just the actions and thoughts from previous years and kind of just the ignorance that was actually around probably about last 10, 15, 20 years. That it's cool for society to be like, you know what, we're going to take you back. Because look at Kevin Hart and the whole Academy and then him going through that whole ordeal, not to just bring up just names, and then not to bring up just random names, but really kind of just to bring up the whole thing of stars, you know, getting in, or people kind of like attacking them through their old words. And it could be just a whole different mind change. It's not necessarily they necessarily changed as people in terms of just like they were bad people at the time. It was really kind of just taking comments that at the time, they thought was maybe funny or they thought of a joke.
Right.
And realizing later, like, oh, that wasn't appropriate. It wasn't right for us to say. We know that now and we've learned from it. I mean, how do you judge a person from, you know, because James Gunn was how old? Maybe like late 20s, early 30s?
Yeah, working on his comedy career. And you know.
But
it's not justified.
No.
It's not. But at the same time, what is justified is the fact that people do grow up.
Yes.
You know, and they do develop. And if they're developing for the better, if they're pushing to try to be a better person, then those actions that happened in the past can be forgiven as long as they aren't so drastic and not so negative. You know?
And it's not to say he wasn't apologetic. He was definitely apologetic about the whole ordeal. And what's interesting is that he even spoke out and apologized prior to Disney obviously firing him.
Right.
And it just resurfaced again. It's like, hey, I apologize for this already.
Yeah.
And then it resurfaced, and now, you know,
he's getting fired for it. But he was never angry because he did admit, like, I did say those things and they were bad to say. But the fact that he's rehired now is a good thing because, like, you never really see a lot of directors doing multiples of movies and things like that. And so this actually having Guardians of the Galaxy be a trilogy that's been written and directed by James Gunn to continue his vision into what this movie should be is a really great opportunity to see, you know, just his mind and his artistic like value in those Marvel movies.
And there was talks about them not keeping the script or completely moving around, and I just kind of wonder what kind of hot mess it would have turned into if James Gunn wasn't the director. I mean, this is why we enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, because of the creative mind that James Gunn had and how he directed, obviously, these characters and created the story behind it. So it's really kind of just taking someone – you can't really mimic someone else's vision and creativity.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ant-Man. Ant-Man was pretty good. But, I mean, I feel like if it was directed by Edgar Wright, it would have been a hell of a lot better.
Ant-Man 2?
Ant-Man 1. Ant-Man 1, Edgar Wright was the director, or going to be director. And then they canned him before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a lot of what you see in Ant-Man, I totally see Edgar Wright's play style. Like, I feel like he kind of, he did the storyboard of it. And then when they fired him, they're like, let's keep some of this stuff because it's really good.
But that's what it's saying is like how much better would have been if Edgar Wright had done it. So it's really, we don't have to wonder that. We're gonna know James Gunn's gonna really finish off this trilogy how it's supposed to be in his mind originally.
Yeah, right.
So I think that's gonna benefit not only himself and the characters, but also the viewers and everyone who's gonna be watching in the theaters or at home.
And speaking of galaxy and spaceships and flying around in space,
are you talking about in a galaxy far away?
I am talking about in a galaxy far, far away. It's the trailer dropped a long time ago, but hey, we haven't talked about it, so why don't we talk about the recent teaser trailer of Star Wars Episode 9?
Michael, we're making it cool again. After in the midst of Game of Thrones, Endgame coming out and all that, I think Star Wars should get a little bit of our attention.
I think so too.
So
I agree.
What did you think?
I thought, hey, that laugh at the end, that makes me excited.
See, I didn't know. He was the one who actually told me. Because who is it?
Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine.
I didn't know that. I thought it was Mark Hamill doing his Joker impression and kind of like a nod to like Joker. Like, oh, that's cool. Whatever.
Why is the Joker in this?
Like, what? I don't know why he's doing that. That's kind of weird. Whatever. I mean, they're not the same thing. Whatever. It's cool. It's cool. He could do it. He's Mark Hamill, you know. But
I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually Mark Hamill just trying to do Palpatine. You know what I mean?
It sounded a lot like the Joker.
Either way, it's Palpatine, and I'm super excited. You know, I mean, it just is another twist to like, what can it be now? Because it totally is a teaser to me at this point. It totally is a teaser. We know, well, at least we can assume who's flying that ship towards Rey. Okay, cool.
Who's flying the ship towards Rey?
Kylo Ren. He's flying his little speeder.
But it doesn't show Kylo Ren.
No, it doesn't.
Kylo Ren?
We just see gloves, dark gloves.
That's all we
can assume it's Kylo Ren. And then she does a little flip and thing like that. Or you see the second Death Star in the ocean of whatever planet that it ends up landing on. But like, there's a lot of little subtle things that are just like, okay, this is getting me excited. And I just really hope that everything's wrapped up in this third, and final installment of the trilogy.
Is JJ Abrams?
Yeah, he's back. He's back in directing. That's why he had the breathing in the beginning of the teaser. So you had Finn in episode 7, and now you have Rey in episode 2. What actually is because it's fade to black and it's Disney. It's actually Finn and Rey having sex, but they can't show that, so they can only make it like matte black right there on the screen. But you had half of like Finn's moaning and breathing in the 7th episode, and then you have Rey's breathing. You know what I mean? So you put them together, and it's gonna be a remix, different mashup there.
And that's what we've all been waiting for. Is just them to just smash.
I think they're totally like
moans each other. And groans. Anyways,
too far. Gosh.
A little bit, just a little, just a tiny. I pushed it over a little to the edge. Just
that's okay.
It's okay. All my friends are dead.
This is a kid's show, anyways. It's fine.
Anyways, no, I'm excited about it. I like the scene of just why can't I remember her name? It just literally just escaped my mind. I know. Ray. all I have is Kylo Ren in my head.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Anyways, so all I have is Ray just.
Oh my god.
See, now I'm lost. I'm flustered. Thanks, Michael.
Stop thinking about Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. All I have is Ray.
I like that they're banding together.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, you know what I mean.
Kylo Ren?
You don't know, no, but you don't know what is. It's totally a teaser. There's not like any kind of information, and you can see people on BuzzFeed and all the other like the little things that you might have missed, and it's like, okay, cool, that's cool, but they don't really give you anything. But what you do see is them kind of together.
Yeah.
Right, her, Finn, and then Poe, and then like a new droid and BB-8, and they're all looking at the Death Star. So it's like maybe there's something on the Death Star, and that's the Death Star that Darth Vader threw Palpatine.
Oh.
And killed him. But from what we know, Darth Maul fell down a little tube, and he's still alive in Clone Wars. And there's a few other people who have died from falling through the tube, and they're still alive, like Luke did technically.
Oh,
He caught on from Cloud City.
It's true.
So I mean, like, maybe Palpatine's still alive somehow. I don't know.
How many years has passed?
Or if anything, he's just like a Force ghost that is like essentially like literally a ghost that haunts the Death Star, and maybe that's like her, way of getting past and getting through, like it's her trial to get to what she needs to get to in the second Death Star. Whatever she's looking for, records or what, I don't know.
All that comes to mind is like, I see dead people.
Yeah,
that's all. As soon as you said that, I was like, that sounds like a movie I've seen.
Except dead people who can possibly make Force movement.
Possibly.
Like if he's that powerful, he may be able to, even in his death, be able to move things and use the Force.
I'm just excited about Rey. She just looks so badass. She just looked badass. I was just like, all right, cool. Like now you can actually see her comfortable and
with
becoming,
lightsaber,
becoming her own, becoming the Jedi we all expect her to be.
The rise of the Skywalker.
Yeah, what the rise of the Skywalker? That's going to be interesting. So there's obviously a lot of questions about it.
I wonder if she's a Skywalker.
I mean, it could be Poe. It's not Poe, but
Poe Dameron, who has a last name already.
That flew over my head.
Yeah, his name's Poe Dameron. Just so you know. Okay, well, that was our discussion on the trailer. I hope you thought it was not insightful, probably just introductory and
his was
insightful. Standard.
I was like
of a trailer review and
excited
discussion.
To see Rey.
Actually, more like Kylo's gloves. Let us know what you think of the trailer.
Yes.
And of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Say it correctly. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
James Gunn's return.
3.
Is that what you
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Regurgitate?
Yeah, I acronymed it. And then
Stop. Don't watch this anymore.
Turn it off. Turn it off.